Hi, we're going to learn today how to do an exercise that accomplishes several things, including working on the movement of nerves as they exit out from the neck into the arms. So if you've been having weird sensations, drops in sensation, or amplification of sensations, or like a pin sticking through your finger at the fingertips through here, or pinpricks, multiple fingers, could be through these fingers, or sometimes all of the fingers, or isolated fingers. This is rather common. We're going to do an exercise that, on top of the other things it does, I'm aiming to help with that thing, that unusual sensation. The thing about nerves is they take some time to heal. And part of the problem that's keeping them from improving, from healing, is that they remain trapped or stenosed and trapped, meaning that there's an exit point they go through and that's tight. Okay? And what we're aiming to do is find a gentle way to slide them through where they are trapped. You might like to think of yourself as a ginseng root person. You know that root of ginseng, they say, looks like a human being? Yeah, so think of a cable that runs from your head, from your brain, downwards, and that cable branches out to either side, running from here, through here, and then to either extremity, down here. Okay, so you've got like a reverse Y down here, and another reverse Y down here. You might also like to therefore think of a string of rope from this going straight up to here, to the other side. So that's one string, and that string is a nerve. You might like to think of it that way. And if you pull on the nerve on one side, it shortens through the other side. And if you pull through the other side, it shortens through this side. And if you think of the center, it therefore cables through, or runs through, or gets dragged to one side or the other, depending on how you pull on one side or the other. And what we're hoping to do is a gentle version of what we call a nerve floss, or nerve flossing. The same way you floss your teeth, you move it through that gap. We're attempting to do somewhat of a movement in a gentle fashion that improves how comfortable the nerve is, that gets the nerves untrapped, that not just flosses them, but also does other things. In particular, we're hoping that the body regains the idea that, yes, certain motions hurt, but not all motions hurt. We're aiming to reduce this automatic apprehension where the body guards, locks down, tightens the exit, and guards and traps the nerve even more. We're hoping to reduce that apprehension that happens with pain. We're trying to teach the body, hey, not all movements hurt. So try these out. And when your body starts saying, oh, some movements don't hurt, when it understands that not all movements hurt, you also begin to regain other ranges of motion. And your tight or locked areas, or your trapping for certain tissues, that eases up. Okay? Keep in mind, these are broad metaphors, and I'm attempting to simplify a rather complex topic, but I hope this helps. And here's a simple exercise. So, think of this axis going down, and it will look like I'm moving my hands. But what I'm actually going to do is move my hips. Okay? And this just hangs as lazily as I can manage to make them hang from either side. So it's like they've been pulled down by gravity very loosely, and it's almost like I'm elongating my neck. But I'm just relaxing the curve of my neck, keeping my neck as relaxed as possible, letting my shoulders drop as much as possible, getting them loose and limp and lazy. And I'm moving my hips, and that movement of the hips causes a throw and a movement at my arms, shoulders, forearms. So it goes this way. And this I'm doing by moving my hips, not my body. Okay, so here's the motion. And this you might think of as a wave. And if you've ever thrown forward a piece of rope so that it almost stands or stiffens. Okay, so a gentle swish goes this way, but if you flick it, if you flick a piece of rope, like a cat's tail, it kind of stiffens via a phenomenon we call a standing wave. So a standing wave is just a wave that cancels out another wave. So instead of going through an entire motion, you match the motion before it completes. So rather than this, okay, if you just had a little speed, instead of going through this, there's an immediate turn to the other side. And so the mechanics are different. So this is just one side or the other. And if I speed that up, there's almost this forward, back motion that happens at the level of the hands. It'll look like I'm doing this, but it's happening all at the level of the hips. And if you've got nerve entrapment at your neck, this can feel quite uncomfortable. So go as gently and comfortably as you can, and just amping up as you go. A little discomfort is okay, but it shouldn't really hurt. And if it hurts too much, you're doing it wrong. It should be fairly enjoyable, even with a slight discomfort. And it should feel like a kid in a playground on a swing. That forward, backward, that rocking motion. And it should feel kind of like Zumba or Capoeira. Okay. And it's this motion. And relax your neck while you're doing this. And when you start to fatigue or you start to tense the neck too much, back off. You're doing too much. You're doing it wrong. Okay? And then just repeat as frequently as you can manage. And you've got an exercise that decreases apprehension from pain, decreases pain through time, improves that space that the nerve is going through, size the nerves, decreases paresthesias through time, that pinprick sensation. And if you do it right, you've got a beautiful cardio going in minutes. Cool? Try it out. Let me know how that goes.